Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers. Microphone checker. 1, 2, checker. Let's go. Now that we got this straight.
Right?
You know I'm straight 80s.
Why this dude barking today?
Hey, man, that's not barking. No, oh, by the way, barking. We watched Top 5 the other night. Have you ever seen it?
With, what you call
Chris
it?
Rock?
Chris Rock, yeah.
When he was in jail?
Yep.
With DMX?
Yep.
Smile. I'm thinking about changing this shit up, yo.
Oh, my God. Fool got me choked up.
Oh, my God. The movie was so hilarious.
Oh, man.
It's one of those amazing moments.
Oh, man. We back.
You look comfortable, Doc.
Man, look at this setup, man.
Oh, man. I can move the microphone back and forth. I'm like, oh, man.
It took us 30-something episodes to figure out we should have been doing this from day one.
With a table.
Right? What were we thinking,
I
man?
don't know. I have no idea.
Right? But dude, I like this. It's comfortable now.
I know.
It's we can get shit.
I feel
rolling.
a part of. I feel like we can engage a little bit. I don't know. I can't see the timer though. I can't tell how long we're
don't
going
worry about
for.
that. When the conversation's over, I'm just gonna cut off your mic. and that's all you need to worry about.
Oh my God, this guy's cutting me off already.
I like being in control. You see, that's why they call it the control board.
Remember we did that personality test and it was I think it was like the 16 personalities or whatever.
Yeah,
and you were a maestro or something like
Something
that.
crazy
Like, I
like
control everything.
Right? That's my personality. I control me. That's it. That's all I can do. Dude, we're back for another week.
We are back.
Welcome, y'all. Since officially welcome to another episode of Sipping on Excellence. You know,
Remember Fat Albert and the Gang?
Yeah, where each and every week, man, we give y'all something excellent to sip on.
Yes.
And you guys have been giving us great feedback. Y'all have been letting us know that you like the energy we bring, and we're going to keep bringing it to you.
Yeah.
Now, you fools need to go on YouTube and subscribe. Stop messing around. Yeah, I'm talking to y'all.
One word. YouTube subscribe. You know how they have a tendency to slur my words. So YouTube and you subscribe.
Yeah, anyway, y'all can see
Yes.
the madness that actually happens over here.
Exactly. Nothing but fun.
But yeah, man, back working out for the first time with you in a month.
Has it been that long?
Think about it. You were gone and I was
True.
gone.
That's true.
I was gone 2 Saturdays. You was gone 2 Saturdays.
Yeah.
So I was feeling it today, y'all. This dude tried to snatch my soul.
Please. I took it easy.
Y'all don't believe that at all. Anyway, no, it's good that we were back in training today, and it's going to lead into this next probably handful of topics that we're going to cover.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, man, I'm just glad that we got the setup we want.
Right.
We're back at how we want to be doing it.
Hopefully I don't lose my mind and start tearing shit up because it's so easy now.
Now that we got more equipment, so now we're going to start bringing in more guests.
Right.
Y'all are going to get a taste of that. So, yeah,
we are growing up.
Dude, it's a real podcast.
Man, I put my big boy drawers on today.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Before we get into today's topic, man, I know there's a couple of what's wrong with y'all's, but I got one.
Okay.
Dude. So this is going to feed into our topic today. You know, we're going to tell the audience what our topic is today. We're going to talk about, things that we're both passionate about, which is wellness and fitness.
Right.
And so as we get into today's topic, we'll kind of touch on some of the important things that we think starting out. But this plays into my what's wrong with y'all's always come from patience, man. So I have this female patient of mine who's in my office seeing me for the first time, whatever. Back issues, but just they're not that bad. And I asked her, I was like, I always ask people, what do you do for exercise? And she was like, what do you mean? And in my mind, I was like, I don't know how to dumb down the word exercise.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm like, exercise. Like, what do you do to stay in shape, get in shape, do whatever? She's like, oh, I don't exercise. And so I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's because you're in too much pain, whatever. She's like, no, she's like, I'm lazy.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so that lets me know what's happening with you, who I'm dealing with, right? So
makes your life a little bit easier.
So I start talking to her, and I'm like, all right, well, we got some place to start, whatever. And I'm talking, I'm like, here's what you need to do. I think Pilates, yoga, keep it low impact. These are things that are great for core strength and easy on the joints, all this stuff. She looked me dead in my face and was like, just starts laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at? She's like, because you're telling me all this stuff? She's like, I'm not going to do any of it. I was just like, oh, well, I am going to send you to see a physical therapist. She's like, I'm sure you're going to give me a prescription for that. And I was like, and I'm sure you're probably not going to go. She's like, I don't have time. I was like, what? I was like, what keeps you so busy? She's like, work, life, whatever. So I don't have time to exercise, and I don't have time to go to see a therapist. I was like, so what do you want me to do for you today? This is before I even know what's wrong with her.
Right.
I was like, what do you want for me to do for you today? She's like, I want you to make me better. I was like, I'm going to help you out right now. I don't even know what's wrong with you. But until you put in the work to make yourself better, there's nothing I can do for you as a surgeon. And her mouth just dropped. I'm like, if I'm working hard, you're having a bad day. So you might as well have a good day and you work hard.
Right.
If you're not willing to work hard, neither am I.
Wow.
Yeah. This is straight up told me this.
Wow.
And it's not like she was fat and out of shape. She's a thin lady, but one of those kind of skinny fat.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm just like, so she feels I don't have to work out. Well, yeah, you do. Your back hurts. You need to be fit. You need to move.
You did find out why she's there.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you're still not able to get it out.
Yeah. And I was just like,
interesting.
How do you come to see me and say, I don't exercise, I don't plan to? Cool. Well, then this is going to be a real short conversation. We're good with that. But that's my what's wrong with y'all. Like, why? If you don't want to put in the work, why you want me to put in the work? I'm not getting paid to be your therapist. I'm going to send you to somebody for that.
Yeah.
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 The other what's wrong with y'all?
What the entitlement?
What we saw at Starbucks today.
Yeah.
Sorry. Plug.
Yeah. Any case. Yeah. We were walking out the door, and the guy thought you was the maitre d'.
Thought I was the door guy holding
the door
door
guy.
He couldn't wait to push past me to get to you.
Right.
And wouldn't let you come out the door.
Right. So I was just like, no, you go ahead, because it's obvious what you have to do is way more important.
It's like your coffee
Right.
is going to come out just like mine, but I need to get mine first.
Right. Right.
And the funniest thing is he went in there, did whatever he did, came outside, and still stood outside waiting like we did.
Yeah. Because the orders get picked up outside. Yeah.
But he wanted to force his way in.
Right. Past everyone else.
Entitlement.
Yeah. And we still beat him.
which is hilarious.
Because he called in his order. Yeah.
And so it's like you get entitlement on one end of, I need you to do this for me. I'm not doing it. And then we get here, entitlement as well as move out my way.
Right.
People are special.
All
man.
day long, baby.
People are special, and especially in this part of the world we live in.
As they say in a good old fashioned Baptist church, bless your heart.
Bless you, baby.
He's special. He's special.
Like old sister Rollins at the church used to say, bless you, baby. Sister Rollins, sorry.
Bless your little heart.
Bless your little heart.
It's the old phrases, man. Those old proverbs that black folks say.
Right?
But they are the best. They don't get any better than
at all.
No, man.
So today, what are we getting into? What are we talking about today? What's on tap for everybody today? Something that's near and dear to me and you, but mostly near and dear to you.
I don't know if it's near and dear to me, but I'm dearly close to it.
Right.
Is health, wellness, fitness, everything that it surrounds it, everything that's involved with it, the mindset that goes into it. That's what we're going to get into. We're going to get into the generals of it. We're hoping that, not even hoping, it's going to end up, we're going to do some deep conversations about it. Not just today, but many times to come.
And I think
This is just a start.
today to start it off, we're going to dig deep into the mindset of getting started.
Yeah.
You know, just how to get past yourself, like this woman
Right.
who I saw in my office, how to get past whatever her barrier is to starting. You know? But in line with that, in the spirit of today, Coach gave us our sip of the day. I call it a chocolate thunder wonder. I'm not,
Oh, you talking? Thank you, brother. You talking about me again? Shit. Yeah, chocolate thunder wonder.
talking about this drink.
So we have a good old fashioned protein whey isolate. So it's very clean protein. It's about as clean as it gets. It's a chocolate, no carbs,
Ice and water.
maybe one gram
But
per serving.
and it tastes great.
Yeah,
It tastes
It
great.
is chocolatey.
But good for you. So this on our fitness wellness journey that we're going to take you guys on today, we're going to start it off with a sip of this protein shake.
Yeah.
Let's get after
Now,
it.
you know when you're drinking protein shakes out of a glass, you special.
Why is he hating? Because I don't have any of those
Shakers.
shakers or big gulp cup. I just aged myself. Do they even have big gulps anymore? 7-Eleven?
Yeah. You know, the big gulp is like now diabetic coma size.
Really?
Oh, man. It's probably maybe 64 ounces, close to it.
Jeez.
Can you imagine somebody filling that up with pure soda?
Like Mountain Dew or something crazy.
Yeah. With absolutely no ice. They're like, I'll buy the ice.
Dude.
I've seen
I could imagine that, but that would put me into a shock. that would put me into straight up sugar shock.
But that's a funny thing, you know. What makes sodas so interesting is the high fructose corn syrup,
Okay.
because you know they had to figure out how can we reproduce this faster and faster and faster. They created high fructose corn syrup in the, what was it, the 70s?
Dude,
I believe it was the 70s, and so that way they can, you know, get more product out. And they found out that this sugar, this high fructose corn syrup, what happens is it shuts off your body's regulatory system, so you don't know when to stop.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know it's highly addictive, but I
Yeah.
didn't know it was like that.
Oh, so think about if you drink, let's say just this size, a glass of water.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I feel a little full.
Yeah.
But you can drink a liter of soda, a Coke, and
think nothing of it.
And think nothing of it, and drink another liter.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now that makes sense. And it's that high fructose sugar kind of
Yeah.
syrup, sucrose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it shuts off your body's ability to say, yeah, that's enough. And you just keep pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's
Talk about starting it off.
yeah, let's just dive deep into what we're trying to cover today. Tell me kind of now, I'm going to put a disclaimer in there to all of you out there that neither Kenny nor I are psychotherapists. We're not psychologists. We're just people who talk to a lot of people all the time
About the
same thing over and over again. And so we're going to give our opinions, but I want you to tell me a little bit about kind of in your line of work, what do you see as the biggest barrier for people taking that first step towards wellness or taking that first step towards fitness?
The biggest barrier, I would say one of them is just the belief system in themselves.
Okay.
That's a barrier. Like, they're like, yeah, I tried this before, or I tried that before, it just didn't work. Also, wanting it yesterday, that's got to be the biggest barrier. You know, it's like you don't get the results over the course of 2 weeks, considering that you've been gaining weight over the last 2 years. Guess what? It don't happen that fast. It can happen pretty quickly, but it's not going to happen that fast.
Well, yeah, and I think people are so used to putting things off until tomorrow, that they won't take the first step today because they're like, oh, well, it's Wednesday. I'm going to do my own thing, and then Monday I'm going to get started.
Right.
Or
Let me have my last bad meal.
I got
today.
a wedding coming up
Right.
in 6 months. Now I'm going to start. Or, you know what? It's December for the new year, my New Year's resolution.
Right.
I'm going to start taking better care of me. And that mindset of procrastination, or that mindset of I can do it later.
Or that you just have all the time in the world to finally get to it.
Right. Or, you know what? Summer's coming, so I'll do it for the summer. But summer's now over. I don't need to train anymore because I'm not going to be in that bikini. I'm not going to be. And that mindset doesn't work if you live in some place like California, because it's bikini weather year round. You know, so that seasonal plump ain't right. You know, if your mindset is about that, and it's not about, we make jokes about it being the seasonal plump and all that. It's not about how you look. It's about getting your mind right so you can feel better, you know, and taking that first step is always the hardest. Like, once you create a habit, it's easy to keep it going.
Yeah.
Creating the habit is the hard part. And that's what I tell all my patients. They're like, it's just so hard to, you know, to get going. And I'm like, what do you have to lose? Number one,
Start somewhere.
you know. And so somebody who's never worked out before, California, LA, that's rare to come across somebody like that. But say
There's a very large population.
yes, say you come across somebody who wants you to coach them and says, I've never worked out before. How do you tell them where they need to start? What kinds of questions are important for you to have answered to know where they are?
I think we've discussed this in the past. Like, I'm a big. First of all, I got in fitness after being in sales for so many years. So asking questions has always been a big deal for me.
Right.
And knowing the whys and letting them hear themselves say the whys, because a lot of times people don't hear their thoughts. They need to speak it at, you know, they need to hear it.
Right.
So I'll say, well, why is this important to you? And they'll go, oh, well, it's important because I just, you know, I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to look good. Okay. Well, why do you need to lose 20 pounds to look and see yourself in this capacity?
Well, because I'm taking a trip next week.
Okay. Well,
Notice I said next week.
right. Well,
What can you do for me? How should I do it? Do I starve myself? What do I do? Do I go on this
yeah,
diet? Do I
yeah.
go South Beach diet? Do I do keto? Do I do intermittent fasting? What do I do?
Yeah. For me, I hear it all. And the bottom line is this: you gotta hear your why. You gotta know why. I have this thing where buyers are criers.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you keep telling me how bad you really feel is because your doctor told you need to lose 20 pounds. So I'm going to put you on this heart medication or put you or diabetes. You know, you're going to have to start taking insulin soon.
But here's one thing I've noticed too, as a physician, since you mentioned doctors are always saying you need to lose a certain amount of weight.
I can see this.
Patients in my office, I tell them they need to get in shape.
Yeah.
I don't say, now there's patients in my office that are obese, and I tell them, I say, you need to get in shape and get your weight controlled. And they're like, well, how many pounds do you think I need to lose? I was like, it's not about how many pounds you need to lose. It's about you need to carry less or you need to carry it differently.
Great way said.
And and there's no way you're not going to lose weight if you're trying to get stronger. And so I tell them the keys to life: strength, flexibility, mindset.
And not always in that order.
No. And I always tell them those are the three things that you need. I'm like, I need you to, first and foremost, because I know you can't commit to anything, and that's why you're sitting in my office. I'm like, I need you to walk somewhere, somehow, 20 minutes every day.
That's not a lot. That's
I'm
not a
like,
lie.
and it needs to be consecutive, like 20 minutes, not 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes in the evening. No, I need you to, well, I'm in too much pain. Well, then how about this? You walk 5 minutes, you sit down. Then you stand up and you walk 5 more minutes and you sit down. But I need you to get it done and build up to it. Once you're at 20 minutes a day, then you start adding stuff to it. Pick up the pace a little bit.
Now, are they saying, like, say, for instance, with that, are they saying they're in pain because, let's say, lower back, because of the weight? Or are they saying that they're
people
just,
who have obesity or people who have that are overweight will never tell you their back hurts because they're overweight. They will never say that because they don't want to believe that. People don't ever want to believe that weight's a problem. And I always say weight's not the problem, size is the problem. And for example, you could be very slim and as a woman have heavy, large, dense breasts and have back pain. You're not overweight.
right?
It's just proportionate to where you're carrying your weight. Men, I could have a skinny dude that's got a big pop belly. He's 150 pounds, but he's got a round pop belly and
Right.
skinny legs and arms.
So he's
He's
getting
going to have
pulled.
back pain. He's going to be walking around like a pregnant woman who gets back pain because of the distribution of weight. So it's not necessarily how much you see on the scale, it's where you carry it. And I think that's where people lose track because I know plenty of people who, by all intents and purposes, their BMI is large, but their distribution of weight in their legs, thighs, hips, chest, upper body, everything is big. So they're not as miserable. Their joints hurt.
Right.
Their knees hurt because they're carrying all this weight. Their hips hurt, but their back not so much.
Yeah.
Because it's an even distribution of weight.
Yeah.
Does that kind of make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I try not to tell people you have to drop all this weight. You need to get in better shape.
Yeah.
And you can't get in better shape unless you lose the weight. So that's my way of saying
Right.
get in better shape.
So in essence, you're trying to tell them condition your body to move. That's it.
Movement's the key to life.
Yeah. Because I think what happens is when you use the word shape, people are immediately tied to a magazine cover, someone that is lean, skinny, or whatever, and they know that's not their body. However, that's their frame of reference.
Yeah.
It's kind of like people use the term, what's the word that I hate? It just slipped my brain. Getting toned.
Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't know. First of all, you're a grown person. Getting toned, your muscles do not.
I mean,
I just don't like the word. Any case, getting in shape, I like that word, but at the same time, I think people have that frame of mind because everything's about mindset, and their mindset is very short, and it's only fixed on what they're able to see, and that exists, which leads to social media.
And like my
everything else.
female clients, patients, will always tell me, you know, I don't want to get bulky. And I tell them, because I never tell people, I want you to build muscle.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I want you to get stronger. I tell them, I want you to get stronger and I want you to be more flexible. Those are the two things. And I was like, and it's all centered around your core strength. And I was like, your hamstrings, if they're tight, it leads to low back pain. And so get flexible, get a strong core. I never say, I need you to build muscle, even though that's what I'm putting in their head without putting in their head.
Yeah.
You know, I got plenty of muscular dudes who are miserable. Why? Because they're building the wrong muscles. So you understand what I'm saying. And so I think these topics of wellness that we're gonna get into, I think everybody can relate because everybody is at some stage of that journey, whether they want to admit that they're on that journey or not.
Right.
Think about it. There's no way that you're not on a fitness and wellness journey your entire life.
Oh, for sure. For sure. If you want a better quality of life, you have to do something about what you're currently going through.
Yeah.
If you don't like the way you look in the mirror, you're going to have to do something physical in order for you to look a certain way. If you want to, climb Mount Kilimanjaro like my wife, one of her friends did, she said, oh, well, I have to start doing certain things to get prepared for that, which in turn, she ended up getting a lot leaner because she was preparing for something larger.
So if somebody comes to you and just says, hey, man, I just want to feel better in general. I don't want to, I'm not trying to be on the cover of Men's Health. Dude, I just want to feel better. Where do I start?
You start with moving every day.
That's what I was looking for.
You start with moving every single day. That is the number one thing. Your body was designed to move. Look at animals.
Get from behind your desk.
Yeah. Start with every day. If you are behind the desk, and most of America's at home now, working from home, and you're on the computer, which means you're literally probably on the couch on the computer,
all slouched over,
right, or in the bed on the computer. So you're in this
hunched
fetal position all day long. Right. So why don't you, for every 45 minutes that you work or 50 minutes that you work, set a timer. You get up, you do some squats, you walk around, you walk outside, walk down the block and walk back, come back in, maybe do some push-ups. Whatever it's going to take you to get physically just a little bit more active, you'd be surprised. I call that, and what's funny is, like, say for instance, doing push-ups, and you want to get better doing push-ups, and you can't do too many. Let's say for every 10-minute frame in the hour, you do 5 push-ups.
Right.
Then in 2 weeks, you add 1 to 2. So now you're up to 6 push-ups during the course of your work hour. I call it greasing the grooves.
Okay.
So your body is getting conditioned for that motion. Well, what happens when you grease that groove? It gets a little easier, Next thing you know, it's not a squeaky wheel.
Yeah, I tell patients the same thing. Patients always say, when I get up out of bed in the morning, I'm stiff. I'm achy, especially some of the older patients. And I'm like, arthritis. This is just the nature of how we're built. And once you get the wheels greased, right, you feel better over the course of the day, right? I'm like, so how about before you get out of bed every morning, you stretch. Pull your knees to your chest, twist, then take those first steps. And you'll realize, oh, I've greased the wheels a little bit before I got out of bed.
One that I just learned with going through physical therapy is, before I get up, just knees together in the bed, bent knee, and just shift my knees side to side without turning my torso. Just keep them back flat and just turn my knees side to side. I hit my feet on the floor, ready to go.
It's little things.
So small.
And people think that this path to wellness is hard. It's not.
It's not.
You just got to start.
Because you see end results. It's like golfers. They wanted that, especially in the early 2000s. I want that Tiger Woods swing.
You ain't Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods
spent his whole life getting his Tiger Woods swing.
Doing that.
Right.
And he still has several back surgeries because he overworked himself.
Yes. And I think one of the problems is people want to look like they think people look on these magazines, and no longer magazines, because magazines aren't out there anymore, but social media.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that, we talked about this before on our social media talk, that the people on social media don't look like themselves in real life.
Oh, I know them.
You and I both know them very well. We have multiple friends that have millions of followers that don't look in person the way they do on camera. And it's because their business is to look a certain way, and it's easy to fine tune it. Now, they still look great, but they spend 6-8 hours a day in the gym. You can't do that. Yes, I'm talking about you. You have a job. Yes, I'm pointing at the camera. You have a job. You can't spend 6-8 hours. If your job is to look a certain way, then you will.
Yeah. And also, people don't see that these people in social media, especially the mega influencers, a lot of times they go so hard to get prepared for certain photo shoots. They're doing several shoots over the course of couple of weeks.
Yes.
Spending a ton of money.
Yes.
To get these shots done so they can go back to who they are.
Exactly. Like the people who you see on the covers of, like, Women's Health or Men's Health and Fitness
they got
or
prepared
Shape
for that.
or Shape magazine.
Yeah.
They do, and you can speak to this, how you prepared for your competition that you did.
Oh my God.
Look phenomenal. Every muscle in your body shows and you're ripped and all of that. But the preparation for that one day of camera time is a beast, and you can't live like that.
Right. And
They can't live like
right.
that.
They can't and let me tell you, they're messed up. Because after my show, it's
I was going to say, how long did it take you to get right?
it's more of a mental and excuse me for saying it, it's a mental mind fuck.
Yeah.
It's an absolute mind fuck because you are now addicted to how you looked getting prepared for that show.
Yeah.
Even the week after, you're like, oh my God, I'm off. Oh my God. 2 weeks after, oh my God, I'm getting fat again. Oh my God, I got it.
Because you spent so much time getting in the mindset of being lean that when in reality, lean is not sustainable.
No, it's not. Actually, it's not. The leanness that I had for that show,
Yeah. That's
not even sustainable.
Not healthy.
It's not healthy.
Yeah.
I wasn't sweating anymore.
That's crazy.
I would get on the step mill, at 4 o'clock in the morning. I walk in with.
How painful does that sound? Just the 4 in the morning. Forget what you were doing at 4 in the morning. Just the idea that you were up at 4.
I was so exhausted that I was going to a South Bay gym.
Okay.
And the gym is upstairs. I would take the elevator to get upstairs to
go
walk
work
up
out.
the steps because I knew I wanted to conserve every bit of energy
To get on that
the
step mill.
And I would say I would do like 40, 45 minutes. It took me 18 to 20 minutes in before I actually had a trickle of sweat on my chest because my body fat was so low and I was so dehydrated.
But that's what people see.
Right.
And they say, okay, that's what I want. And it's not realistic.
No,
it's not realistic for the average person. It's not realistic for somebody whose whole world is fitness. And so I will commend people like Luca, people like Kaisa, people like Massey, because they may look a certain way and do some crazy things. But one thing I'll always hear is, yes, this is kind of the stuff we do, but just move, just keep moving, and I think their followers, the people that follow them, aren't trying to look like them.
Right.
But the thing is, for example, you hear Kaisa speak, and she used to have body issues.
Right.
Like she got issues with her bulk and her strength, and she always said she had to look a certain way. And she talks about this on her podcast a lot. And then you just see it like, okay, now she got to the mindset of, I just want to move. I want to feel good.
Yeah.
And it changed. Like I followed her journey, and it changed how she trains.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's more realistic than some of these other people you see on social media who will show their own transformations, but won't show the people they work with transformations. They won't show real people.
Right.
They'll show people who you look at them and they're like, oh, well, this person here just took this picture after they finished eating and then took this picture the next day. You know what I mean? Like they're already in pretty decent shape.
Yeah.
And then they just took a picture after they worked out, after their pump.
Also, they had bad head.
Right. after their pump, they're like, oh, I'm going to take a pre-pump and a post-pump picture and say, look at my transformation.
Yeah.
It's not quite a transformation. You're selling wolf tickets,
Yeah.
I just dated myself again.
I know you really did. The industry it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling because I think we are so fixated on what is so far we see as we think is so far-fetched.
Right.
We think is so far-fetched, but everything is really attainable if you just apply yourself. And to take it off, I think that's why, say for instance, we love athletes, we love sports. I think that's why CrossFit became so big in the industry, is because I can actually get in shape myself and also see myself doing this. This is actually attainable. I actually can, take it to the next level.
And there's a competitive nature to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Peloton got so big, because there was a competitive nature to it. There's the other thing, the row with heart, the hydro rower, that is a competitive thing to it. You go to, somebody asked me about this the other day, and I was like, if you want to die, you can go the VersaClimber class.
Ooh, no.
And I was just like, I did VersaClimber once, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna die. Great workout, but
I mean, because the only people who used it before were MMA people.
dude, I was like, who's doing this? But yeah, it works every inch of your body. And so people also think that getting in shape, getting fit, getting healthy is expensive. It's not.
It's not.
You don't need a single piece of equipment but your 2 legs and your 2 arms to start the process and keep it moving.
Yeah. And also from a nutritional standpoint, you actually well, I don't know what the price is in today, but
Years ago it was cheap.
yeah. But you can prepare and cook food and eat cleaner. And when I say cleaner, I mean just eating food that you made. That's what I mean by eating cleaner.
Yeah, just
not food that comes in a box.
Limit processed stuff.
Yeah, it's really not that challenging. You know,
it's go grab a salad, go buy some meat from the store.
Yeah,
and then just think about, how am I preparing this? Now, I'm the worst at it, but I've also started using a meal plan because I don't have the time.
Right.
But realistically, me being a single dude, not having to worry about anybody but me, my meal plan cost me $50 a week.
Yeah.
And that's dinners every night of the week.
That's not bad at all.
Gluten-free, veggies, all the stuff proteins, all the stuff that I would like to eat that I just don't have time to cook.
Right.
That's $50 a week. And am I cutting out eating pizza and things like that? No. Every now and then I'm like, you know what? Those are my little pleasures in life. I'm not eating that shit every day.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to go hard, you would just cut that out.
Exactly.
But,
do I want to go to In-N-Out from time to time? Sure. I go to In-N-Out when I get the craving. But
In-N-Out plug.
I don't get, but I don't get those burger cravings or, do I want a chicken wing? Sure. Those things, nobody can go through life canceling things out. Cancel culture stuff doesn't work. So if I say, you know what, I'm going to just go keto, that doesn't work. You can't cut out carbs. You can't.
Because what happens, you're going to have to come off that at some point in time. And you're going to have to join the real world at some point in time.
Yes.
And everybody's not in that keto mindset that you're in. They're like, this is keto friendly. You don't know what things are cooked in. You don't know how things are prepared. Dude, the fact is, you want to be a part of society. You want to be a part of the real world. But at the same time, you want to enjoy the idea of your health and fitness journey without making it daunting,
right?
Without making it overly stressful. Finding things in fitness world that you say, hey, you know what? I'm not really into this weightlifting thing, but I think I'm going to do this whole body weight thing or at home, or I'm just going to walk every day. I want to see if I can do, like from where you live. I want to see if I can walk to the beach now.
Yeah.
Find challenges in life that you can kind of reach for.
Find things that are enjoyable.
Right.
Activities that are enjoyable that keep you moving and learn. So if you like to walk, then say, you know what? Instead of just walking, maybe I'll go hike.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll walk up a hill instead of walking a flat.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll go walk in beach sand instead of walking on the pavement.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just things that will challenge it.
Yeah.
And figure out the things that are fun. Make getting healthy fun.
Right.
But I think people look at it as, oh, it's a chore and blah, 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 blah. It's a chore to feel like shit.
Right. And it's a chore that you keep handing off that negative vibe about what it's like to others, and people are tired of hearing about it as well. So you might as well go ahead and figure out what you need to do to save yourself.
Right. And they're like, oh, I can't cut this out. I can't do that. Then don't.
Yeah, and they're so busy saying, I can't. Stop cursing at me. Right. Watch your profanity. God damn it.
I tell people all the time, it's about moderation.
Yeah.
So if you like eating cake, eat a slice.
Yeah.
Don't eat the whole cake.
And don't eat it every day.
No. And it's a simple formula with the right foods, meaning calories in versus calories out with the right foods. You know what I mean? That's all it is. And if there's zero chance of you dropping and burning fat and losing weight if calories in are more than calories out. If you eat more than you exercise,
right,
you're not going to. And if you only exercise or you over-exercise and you don't eat appropriately, your body's going to do what? It's going to feel like you're starving it. And that's why this intermittent fasting is okay. But starving yourself, your body stores fat because it's like, oh my God, I'm not getting enough food. I don't want to eat my muscle, so I'm just going to store fat.
I mean, you still have to consume calories.
Absolutely.
Don't get that twisted. People are like, oh, I do intermittent fasting, but I can't seem to, like, that's because you're not consuming anything. If you are not consuming enough protein, enough carbs, enough, especially the longer you go, if you're not consuming the protein, carbs, and fats that are necessary, you're kind of screwing yourself.
Right?
Your body doesn't. There is a hormonal change that happens over the course of that time, but that hormone that's a small window, and it goes away really quick if you're not feeding that muscle.
Or if I'm trying to, lose this fat, but and I cut out all the sweets, but I still eat watermelon, grapes, peaches. I still drink juice all the time. Then you're still filling your gut up with sugar.
Right.
Right. So you got to modify all of that, and it's not hard. Don't cut it out. Cutting out shit doesn't work.
I got you one better. Stop stressing out about trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
You're shooting cortisol into your body, making yourself fatter. You made yourself fatter sitting on the couch stressing out about getting fat or being fat. And I'm saying fat. I'm talking about the weight. I'm not talking about your shape.
Exactly. And one thing that we didn't touch on that we'll dive deeper into on another episode is also the importance of sleep.
Oh, it's huge.
Just a body needs rest. A body needs to move, and it also needs to re-up.
Yeah.
It needs to rest.
Yeah. And by the way, if you want, and I'm going to give him a shameless plug because it's my boy, Sean Stevenson's book, Sleep Smarter. He has a book out now called Eat Smarter as well.
I've read that one.
Yeah,
you gave me that book. Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Yep.
But Sleep Smarter
Shout
was
out to
his Sleep Smarter is, that was it. Matter of fact, he's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast now.
Yeah.
So
right.
Got to give him a shout.
Got to give him a shout. Sean Stevens. But no, I think people don't realize the importance of it. Mm-hmm. Eating right, sleeping, and that quick fix of everybody looking for that nutritional supplement of fat burner, testosterone booster,
yeah, we talked
pre-workout,
about that recently. Yeah.
Pre-workout, post-workout. And so you see, it's the funniest shit to see people come to the gym with all these jugs of shit they have.
Yes.
Dude, this is my pre-workout. Your pre-workout is just a bottle of caffeine. That's what you're doing.
So, buddy of mine, I love him to death. He's hilarious. He's jacked beyond belief. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you've met him, George King.
Probably if I see him.
Yeah. George used to come in because he's, like I said, insane body, just absolutely insane. But you know how your body needs that sugar immediately after, so you can uptake your protein.
Right.
So he'll come in with a little piece of foil bundled up. He'll open it up. It's red velvet cake.
And people look at him like,
oh, but he's a very, very smart guy. It's like,
you're at
this
the
is
gym.
what I love. This is what I know is going to help. The sugar amount is just enough of a cake,
Right.
and then he'll have his protein and all his foods after. But he also used to warm up instead of, doing a bunch of cardio and everything, warming up.
Yeah.
He'd go sit in the steam room
Okay.
and move his neck, do some, some easy stretches, sit there for like 10 minutes. Then he'll go onto the floor, sweating already. Have the best workout.
But
Never in pain.
he knows what works for him.
Yeah.
And I think people need to realize all the supplements in the world, all the shortcuts you're trying to make and find, and there's a big, huge market for all of this. All the
multi-billion-dollar market.
all the the branched chain amino acids, all these different things, and people don't realize before all that shit came out, there was food, exercise, sleep.
Yep.
Right? I mean, shit, look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, there's people who, hormones, that's always been around.
Yeah.
But before all of this, it was just proteins, food, exercise, getting right,
Yeah.
dieting, and all the stuff. And so,
Look at Charles Atlas.
yes, from
And he
way
did-
back.
Did isometrics.
Yeah.
That's it. And sold it as a system. Boom. Just squeeze your muscle real hard every day.
For y'all who don't know, Charles Atlas was a great bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dating myself.
The fact that I knew.
Yeah. Jack LaLanne.
Yes. Really dating yourself.
Yeah.
He lived to be old.
Yeah. 93, I
Yeah.
think.
But there's reasons why, and these are the people that are the outliers. You don't have to be them.
Right.
You just got to be you and comfortable with you. Stop trying to look like other people. Stop trying to take on the world like other people. You're not them. Those people are anomalies, genetically blessed on top of money, like more than God.
Yeah.
And it's their job to look that way.
Right.
Your job is to live
Right.
and live it the best way you can.
Right. I would say this, and this might help. What would the best version of you be doing if you were in this new physical fitness position? What would the best version, and what would that person have to do to get there? Now start doing that.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, it's just simple deductive reasoning. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, okay, I will be, like for me, I had to set some, the bodybuilding thing is, I did the show. That was enough.
Yeah.
I'm not going back there. But for me, I love cycling. And I said, I would love to do a century. So now my fitness, everything I do is planned around that, because no matter what happens getting to that century, I'm still going to cycle after. I might be cycling further, but I'm still
Right.
going to be cycling. But my journey is now to get to that century. So see how that goes. And then I continue to cycle. Now I might get leaner. I might get, stronger, or because I still stay in the gym. I love to lift.
Right.
I love to lift.
Right.
I love doing mobility. So I'm going to continue doing those things. But finding that aspect that's going to take you over the top sometimes, and being audacious with it, like saying, oh, I deserve to be the best of this, or try this.
Right.
My God.
Right?
Sometimes you have to talk out loud.
You got to
Get
talk
in the
to yourself.
mirror.
Absolutely. You got to talk to yourself.
Have you ever tried driving and screaming? Like just screaming, nobody can hear you.
Okay. I can't say I feel him on that.
If you need to let something go.
You need to let something go. You can do whatever you want. Scream, yell, shout, cry,
Hey.
all that.
Oh yeah. But when you're driving, nobody can hear you.
True. People just look at you like, whew, he's losing it over there. But who cares?
But sometimes, like say for instance, getting up at 4:00 in the morning, going to the gym, guess
Yeah.
what? All of a sudden you're like, all of a
sudden you're awake.
Yeah.
That's
Who
true.
needs coffee?
Right? you
You're
got
wide.
you got a point
awake.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Start
right. I see it.
But start doing that little scream with every aspect. Yeah, I'm getting in shape. Yeah, I'm gonna be the best.
Yeah. People always ask me, why are you religiously working with Coach? Why are you working out all the time? And I'm like, dude, I'm not training for anything.
Yeah.
My goal is, if I set in my mind that I'm going to work out every day of the week, if I get 4 in, dude, that's a goal. If I set a goal of working 3 days a week, I know me. I'm gonna do one and be like, all right, I got 1 of 3. That's
Yeah.
30%, not bad. You know? And so the key is set expectations for yourself, set goals for yourself, and understand why you're setting that goal. My goal is to live as long as I can, as pain-free as I can, as strong as I can, and make sure my clothes fit so I don't have to keep changing my wardrobe. That shit gets expensive. You know, I get a custom suit made and then I can't fit it. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and so the idea is to stay in the same shape, maintain or better every day.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Yeah.
And if I'm off, I know where I'm off because I've been doing this with you for a long time. I tweak it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, all right, I guess I got to get on this rower a little more.
Yeah.
You know?
But, I always say also is, getting strong is the absolute. And when you're when you're at your strongest, you have more control.
You feel
your
better.
confidence goes through the roof. You believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You start with that strength. It strengthens your mind.
Yeah,
It's like
for sure.
You're literally strengthening your body, but you're conditioning your mind.
Yeah.
It's not conditioning the mind, strengthening it's the other way.
You can't possibly work on your body and your mind not be in it.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, because it's technically meditation.
You're going to feel better. I don't know anybody, who feels, and let me just back that up because you got people out there. You got people out there that will train you so hard till you throw up. And that's when they're like, oh yeah, I made him throw up today.
Yeah. Masochists.
Who's that helping? You know what it does? It makes me not want to come back and train.
Yeah.
If I think every time I meet you, your goal is to destroy my life, then I'm not going to come.
Yeah.
I made jokes about him snatching my soul, but it was more so he sees where you are and he meets you there. And it's like, all right, I see where you are today. Let's just move.
Yeah.
Or, and that's one thing that we didn't touch on yet today. The goal is you can't do this shit by yourself. I don't care how you want to start. And what I mean by you can't do this by yourself, meaning get some guidance, whether it's online, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's reading a book, whether it's just taking an online course, pulling down some exercise apps. Do something. Don't just say, all right, I'm going to start working out today, because that shit never works.
Yeah.
Get some help. There's various avenues out there
Way too many.
that you can get
This
pointed
day
in
and
the
age.
right direction, that you don't need to do this on your own, and you don't have to have a ton of money to do it. There's a lot of information out there that's free.
Yeah.
There's people out there that the deeper you want to get into it and the more dedicated you become, it's an investment.
Right.
But until you're able to make that investment, there's free stuff out there. Look for it. Just get a little bit of guidance and start.
I ain't free though.
At all.
But I will help you.
And so, but that's what I tell people. It's like, if you have the means, you spend that money doing bullshit, you'll go buy that $30,000 purse, but you won't put the money into your health and your
Right.
wellness. You won't do what it takes to prevent you from seeing me. That's all you really should be doing.
30 extra pounds of holding it up on that hip.
To do some prevention. That's what you want. Healthcare prevention.
Yeah.
Do that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spend that money, because it's going to cost you a lot more if I got to see you.
I would say even better. Prehabilitation.
Right?
Not rehab.
No,
Prehabilitation. Get there before it has to come in.
Right. Because if you think being healthy is expensive, try getting sick.
And that's the only time that's the sad part. It's
Yeah.
the only time we ever meet it.
Try being injured or sick. You will see how expensive it is. So
Yeah.
it's way cheaper to spend that money on staying healthy than it is to get you healthy.
Right.
Again.
Right.
Man, this was a good opening to what's to come. I know we threw a lot at y'all today,
Yeah.
but we wanted to scratch the surface on this thing that we're both very passionate
Yeah.
about, which is your mind, your body, and wellness.
I think you can also tell in our tone. Like,
Yeah, it
I've noticed
makes
that
it
both of us
happy.
are like,
I just want to get after it, you know. Right? But I think
want to shake you sometimes.
I think it's a necessary conversation that I don't feel bad if we have this conversation multiple times.
Oh no,
You know, because I think it needs to happen because there's not enough people out there who understand that, dude, all it takes is to start.
Yeah,
Just be motivated enough to start.
yeah. Love yourself enough to start.
What he
today.
said.
Love yourself enough to start today. Yo, I'm Coach KJ. You're going to find me at Coach KJ Knows on Instagram and CoachKJ.com if you have questions or if you want me to write your program.
You can find me at Leonel Hunt, or you can find me on internet at huntspine.com.
The internet.
And I will not be writing your program. I will point you to that dude because you don't want to see me.
You're right. I'm keeping you from him.
Right. You can also check out our YouTube channel, Sippin' on Excellence. No G, just Sip In
Sippin'.
on Excellence. And you guys can find us everywhere on SOE Podcast.
Out.